So the point I'm making is, what does it matter? Uh, what's the deal with women talking about they want a man that makes six figures when they might not even be making six figures themselves? Maybe, what are they bringing to the table?
How do you know what they make?
Well, I don't know, but how do you? What difference does it make if a man makes six figure or not?
Because I don't want to link up with a homosexual.
Mm. Okay. Hello, I'm Tim, and this is Eulica. We're coming to you again with part two installments of what men want to know about women.
I am back on the hot seat again.
Back on the hot seat again, and we're covering men want to know, why are women so on this whole I want a man with six figure?
So we're going through, it's kind of a 666 series.
Yes.
So we already covered the 6 feet issue in
We
a
did.
prior episode.
Yes, we did.
We talked about that. That was very challenging, but I made it through.
Yeah.
Why women make demands? Should women have standards and be able to make demands and have preferences? How do you feel about that in general?
I think yes. I think women should have preferences. Yes, I do. But I think it's unfair to judge a man by what he have in his wallet. Just me personally. My thing is, I get that question a lot. With hey, what do you do for a living? And I tell women right out the bat, I pay my own bills.
So when men get together, like if you just having casual, I've been in social settings with you where the conversation, I was in that conversation, but just the conversation of what you do kind of comes up.
Men don't talk about what each other make,
but they talk about what they do.
Okay, we may talk about what we do, but we don't talk. We ain't in each other's pocket like that.
I think men do judge each other by what they earn and what they do.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what men, that does that. That's just not how I get down. My whole saying in life, what that man eat doesn't make me fit. That's
Okay.
right. That's my thing.
Well, let's get into today's topic, and it is why women want six-figure men.
Yes.
And the truth behind what that preference means. I feel like when you agree that the 6 foot conversation was a little bit eye-opening.
Yeah, it was. It was a little eye-opening. I get that, if you didn't catch part one of this installment, please go back and look at 6 foot, and it's going to give you a lot of insight.
That it's not disrespectful. It's just a preference. Kind of, we'll get into, and I think that this is kind of akin to that. That
Yes.
there are reasons for that.
Yes. Yes. Can we get into it? Because I know there's a lot of men out there that feel probably the same way I do. If I'm taking care of myself, I'm not asking you for anything. What does what I make matter? But I'm open to hearing.
So I would say before I get into that when we meet each other, whether we meet each other online or in public or in a public space, in a bar, a party, or whatever, you want to know about me, who I am, what I'm into, what hobbies I have. You cannot have that discussion without there being a financial element to it.
When we first meet?
Yeah, you want to know who I am, what I do.
But I'm not asking you.
No, but if I say I'm into equestrian, riding horses. Oh, I fly to Vegas every 2 weeks. That's telling you something financial. So just you saying what your hobbies are, what you do, is giving me an element of kind of where you are financially. Okay. So if you say I'm a gambling addict or I go to Vegas, there's no way to live in this capitalist society and not understand. In this neighborhood, I assume about these people that they earn a certain amount of money. Okay, just because they live here.
So by that logic, you're saying if I tell you my hobby, I love golfing.
I would assume that you do not work at McDonald's.
Okay.
I would assume it. Okay. I could be wrong.
Okay.
So anyway, we're going to get into reasons why women have this preference. And I would say we don't always mean 6 figures. Six figures might be in your town. It might mean 80,000. It might mean 60,000. So don't get hung up on the term six figures. It means, can you provide these things? So reason number one, I feel like I'm on the hot seat again.
Yes,
I already
you are.
feel uncomfortable.
You should be.
And as we go through them, you're free to pepper me with questions.
Okay. All right.
So number one, it means that we are seeking security. And if I'm just meeting you, yes, I'm looking at you that you're a nice man.
Okay.
Yes, that he's friendly. I'm not planning my whole life, but it does take me at step one that I want to take step two, step three with you. So I'm getting an idea of who you are. I'm assuming that you ain't got 50 women who you calling and juggling. I'm making assumption, and part of that is your ability to take care of yourself.
So, okay. So when you say security, you're speaking about a man being wealthy enough to secure you?
No, for me personally, it's can you take care of yourself
Okay.
and your responsibility.
Okay. That's
So as we journey, because once feelings get in it, especially for women, it's kind of hard to pull it back. Like, oh, he ain't had a job in 6 years. Oh, how you living? Like, but my feelings are involved. So sometimes we're trying to get a sense of just how you move. Like, do you move every 3 months? Like, that's information. Most people who have a steady income, unless it's part of their job or something, usually have a stable place to live.
Okay.
They have stable, that goes back to our are you ready to date?
Right.
So I'm not asking you, this is me. There might be other women who are asking you to, not asking you to pay my bills.
Okay.
But so.
You just want to make sure he's self-sufficient and independent and not having to rely on you.
And especially over 50, because where are we going? Towards retirement.
This is true.
I need to know that you ain't worked long enough to get Social Security.
That's a good point.
And we planning trips, or I'm going to be the financier of all of it. And you know, the thing about black men are handsome, look good. You don't know that this man does not have two pennies to rub together. Because y'all can get, like, just put on a crisp white, the white t-shirt today.
I mean,
crisp white.
It's the melanin.
And you're clean. You're going to keep your Air Force Ones, whatever you got, I'm going to be clean.
We throw a suit on, we look like $1 million.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I think that women have to be discerning. And part of our effort in this love life and luggage in dating is that you have to have conversations that give you some kind of picture of who this person is.
Okay.
So number one is we are seeking security. You sound like you accepted that.
I'm listening. I got my thoughts.
Judging.
Still have my thoughts.
Number two reason is that we're looking to see if we have shared lifestyle and goals.
Okay.
So I have dated men who are very overly impressed with where I lived and how I moved and certain things I did.
Would you say there was maybe a hint of jealousy in that or something?
Or they're not used to living like that. They're not used to that.
So they say that. So if I'm hearing you right, they're not necessarily up to your standards.
Exactly. Doesn't mean that they're not for somebody.
Okay.
But like for instance, as you know, I like to cruise. I like to vacation.
Yeah. We cruise a lot together.
I expect you to be able to go on vacation and your rent is still paid. You don't go into a free fall.
Right.
And this is over 50. It might be different, but I expect to. I don't want to go to McDonald's every time.
Right.
Sometimes we're going to go to Ruth Chris. Sometimes we're going to go to Outback. Sometimes we're going to run through the drive-thru at McDonald's. I need that not to be like shocking to your system. Right.
Where you're choosing between where you want to eat and whether you can get your medicine.
Exactly. I do not want that.
Okay.
And I want to even hearken to a conversation that we had. Like, there are things that you help me with that are financial in nature, but I don't need your money. I need you as a person to like help me figure out which dishwasher. There's certain things that I need, like how to fix something. But if you've never lived in a home, you've always lived with someone else, then you might not know, oh, that noise, you need to fix this you need to call the people. You've told me, hey, you need to get a repairman to fix this, blah, blah, blah. So it's your experience, your lifestyle.
So your life's experience kind of count for something as well.
And your money kind of tells you what you've been exposed to.
And right. Okay, I get it. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
I'm catching on. You're breaking me down a little.
So
All right.
sometimes in a short span, and I'm speaking for the women, y'all can correct me in the comments. I can't say all that, but I'm saying, no, do you make six figures? Do you? And
Because
that
when you leave with that,
it
I'm gonna be
sounds
honest.
hard.
For a
It's
lot of men,
offensive.
and even for me, I'm a man. When I hear that, I immediately think that this woman is looking is kind of a gold digger. She's looking for a come up. That's kind of how I see it. When you leave with hey, I want a six, I want that 666 thing that's
It
out
could
there
be a
now.
demon.
Okay, that could be right. But when we're saying they want, the six figure, they want the 6 feet. When you come off like that, I'm
So
thinking right out of
sometimes,
the bat,
so we
you don't
ladies,
have it together, but you want me to have it together.
I have it together.
I know you got it together.
But and many people do. And I would even say it would be hard for me, especially if a woman has kids. Even if she's on public assistance, she got her housing together. She got food in her house. It's hard to find a woman who cannot meet her basic needs. And maybe she wants a little wine and dining because she wants to be treated. But usually, and more often than not, even at any economic level, a woman is used to being a little bit generous to men, do something sweet for you, whatever. And so I don't know really, and we're not talking about the women who are the NBA groupies. That's a whole separate group that should not be grouped with us.
Okay.
So I just want to say I don't know, and if y'all know them, you can put them in the, that you've had an experience. But how many women have you truly, truly, truly met who are truly trying to get in your pocket so they can elevate their lifestyle?
I mean, I haven't come across. Maybe when I was younger, but I mean, I would give you this. Most black women are down 10 toes with their man, even when they may fall off. They might let you, hey, stay at their place while they cover the rent until you get up on your feet. I know that to be a fact about black women.
And not just to our romantic partners, but to our brothers, to our whatever. A cousin just got out of jail. We're gonna make sure they got the older. Like, so I just don't know what. And just like you said, it's kind of offensive for us to assume. To say it's offensive for you to treat me as though I'm trying to take something from you.
Then I would say just take that six-figure dialogue out of the communication. When you put that out in the air, it gives for black men, for men in general, but for black men, it gives a different connotation. That's all I'm saying.
So for the lifestyle and goals, it makes you talk about travel, it talks about wellness. Do you go to the doctor? Do you have health insurance? Do you, like, if you passed out at my house, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so reason 3 is one of my favorites I want to talk about. Financial stability reflects your life choices. And I feel as though, I don't have that. I saw a post that I was going to talk about. So financial stability, your ability to earn income talks about what you've been doing. Even though you're 50 plus, it talks about what you did in your 20s, your 30s, and your 40s. And we're going to talk a little bit with the YNs about how to whatever. Right. And I think that some of the sensitivity is for some men is because they have not made the best of those decades.
So I know that to be true. I know there's a lot of men in my age range, over 50, who maybe grew up in hoods and may have grew up, similar to how I grew up, and may have really pissed off their younger earning years. Many of them have maybe gotten locked up. Some, may have just had multiple babies, never really got a trade, never went to college. And so they get in their 50s, and they're far away from $100,000 or six-figure income.
Or I would just say a stable lifestyle that you can maintain housing or whatever on your own. So I would not even lock on the six-figure number. Mm-hmm. That's just what we say to oversimplify. Right. And maybe it's problematic, not perfect, but just I understand it. So I think sometimes it's a feeling of judgment. And I apologize on behalf of all women for that. But I also believe that, and that's the post I was trying to think of, men are not accustomed to being challenged. No, I can set a standard with you. No, I don't want, and this sounds horrible, but no, at 50 years old, if you're still like at the drive-through window at McDonald's, then we're probably not going to be able to gel together with the things that I want to do based on our lifestyle. Because to me, you're probably getting some things together if that is the case and you're over 50. I just think that men are not comfortable with women being direct enough to say that for themselves.
Yeah,
I think if it was your daughter, if it was your sister, you think they should just take whatever they get.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that
Maybe some pride there. Again, sometimes in life, you don't make the best choices when you're young, and it kind of follows you.
all of us do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all do, but I think you also have time to recover
Yes.
and not to punish me because of that, or to act like, how dare I ask? If you did anything else, they would want to know, what is your financial status. If you even when you get pulled over for police, sometimes they, where are you going, where are you on your way to? If you wanted to get an apartment, if you wanted to get a house, if you want to get a car, so why would you think meeting, we meet, I'm assuming you're considering me that we're going to be joined at some level and doing life together on some level.
Right.
So to me, what you do for a living is kind of interesting opening conversation. And because men don't have a problem asking us what we do for a living. I'm just saying.
I've never asked. I don't think I've ever asked.
And you probably wouldn't have to, because probably would say it. You probably would say it because it's kind of like, oh, this is what I do. And like, you want to know when I'm available.
Right.
So the stability here in my notes, so the money is a mirror, and I believe that. I've heard that. So money is also a magnifier. So money, if you have a drug problem, money in your hands is a problem. Yeah. If you like to buy shoes, if you like to travel, money kind of tells you what I do with my money. If I look at your bank account, I could probably figure out, oh, he likes to go to Chipotle. Or whatever. Right. And so money kind of tells. So it's just like you looking at me, and if I have on lots of expensive red bottoms or whatever, it gives you a picture of kind of how I'm moving. So you're very agreeable. I'm very surprised.
I mean, I'm kind of. We've talked about this before, and we've had some heated discussions about it. I'm kind of finding my way to her. I think that when women say that they want the six figures, maybe, if I'm hearing you right, what they're saying is they want somebody who can match their energy, match their swag, can complement what they have going on, and that they're not necessarily looking for the man to take care of them.
And financial stability is also a very attractive attribute. Your potential to earn and take care of yourself and possibly join forces with me, your ability to take care of your children is very attractive to a woman. It's not just flashiness. And we're going to talk, these are healed women, healed, mature women. Yeah. So your ability to do that is really an attractive thing. And
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's kind of sexy.
I hold my own.
I like that. We can do life together. So this is another reason that we probably hold this position, is that past struggles of our past, and most of us, especially Black women, have been in some kind of financial down position because of the actions of a man. It might be because he does not pay his child support on time. It could be because he messed up your credit. Do you know that incident, or am I making that up?
No.
It could be because
messed up some women's credit.
Yes. You said what?
And there's some men that's been messed up women. That's run through women credit.
And some women there are people who also target us for that. So I saw one video, this is on TikTok, and the guy was saying, I like women who have kids, because that means they have a home, they always got food in their house, they know how to cook, they're stable, I can always come by. Also, she's busy with kids, so I don't got to spend too much time with her. So there are men who might be, they might not be in the healthiest of place, physically, financially, emotionally, who seek women who are in financially good position.
So you're saying so that's a reverse. What they call that? I guess they would call that a sugar mama kind of situation.
Yes, but we would dress it up because probably some of us are church folk. We wouldn't say it that way.
Mm.
So that's how you're able to move from house to house because if I come and you say I got 3 kids, you know I have a home.
Mm.
I probably have a car. I have some kind of stable income. I don't have food in my house. However, I get that, whether I work or I have a good job or I have some kind of subsidy that helps me. And so I think for us to discern the homosexual, and I learned in the last, in the period that I was dating before I met you, after my separation, that there are men over 50 who are looking for financially stable women. So I need to ask you what you do for a living. Early.
Men over 50 are asking women?
Yes, I've been asked for money. I've been asked, can I move in with you? I'm in a halfway house.
Wait. These are people that you never had a relationship
Never met in person.
Wow.
They're looking for thirsty women. They're looking for broken women. They're looking for women. They're like, oh. So I'm just like, this is what I do for a living. Because this is just a general conversation. Right. And they don't know where I live, but they know what part of town I live. And they make some assumptions. So no, I've been asked directly.
Can they come live with you?
Yeah, can they because he needs a permanent address because this person was like in a halfway house. They just you do not learn these things because as you know, men can be very selective with information they get for. You got to ask a man straight up what he does, and that's my advice to women. So during these dates, you should not just be going on these dates to be giddy and laughing. If he's not forthcoming with that information, that's telling you a story. So it makes you so you not being like you getting kind of smart with it makes me think you either do something illegal or you are just I wouldn't think about the amount. I would think of you don't have a strong work history. You quit or get fired a lot because you don't want to say what you do.
So you're suggesting that women ask that on the front end? Hey, what you do for a living?
Or it should come up. It should not be something I have to ask. If you're saying, hey, I'm Tim, and we're talking about linking up, I got to kind of know your work scale. Hey, well, I get off at 5, and I work on this side of town. This is what I do. Most men, if it's something you're proud of, you're going to say what you do for a living. You're going to say you work at FedEx. You're going to say it.
Right.
And you know what you do.
It could be a world where men may not be so proud, and then, I get it. You challenge them. But
then how is the relationship going to start if it's starting with shame and embarrassment? You don't then do something you're proud of. I'm just saying.
I would suggest a woman take a different tack.
They're not going to do that.
We gotta to know the brother first.
No, we're not. We don't have
judge
time.
His pockets, before you judge.
We're not judging the pockets. We're judging money is about how you move in the world. Money is about I have a stable job. You get money. Money is more than about just are you rich or are you poor. Money tells you what that person does with their time, what they're interested in. Tells you what part of town they live on. Tells you that you travel for work. It tells you that you're a fireman, so you're going to be in the fire. Tells me you're a policeman. You might work nights and weekends. It gives me, you're a policeman. Oh, so you're into public service. It tells you more than just about your pockets. It tells me it gives me a picture of who you are. This is the profession you have chose to take care of your family and feed your kids. That tells me a story. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm hearing you. Trust me, guys. It was a spirited debate before we
had to get together before we got on.
Let me tell you, we almost came to fisticuffs.
And I'm just very passionate about that, and that women in this age and this day, we can say what we do. We can be transparent. And most time, if we're saying stuff to you. Or asking you, we're also revealing that information. So usually if I say, hey, what's your name? You're going to say, hey, what's my name? So if I say, this is what I do for a living, and you sit there silent, I'm going to say, we grew up in the 80s. I'm going to assume you do something that is not of God.
But you'll just be assuming. You can't.
So when you choose to be silent, I get to choose to fill in the blank.
Okay.
So you got to say something. Why would you meet somebody?
So I tell you what, I tell you what, I tell the women straight up when they ask me. In the past, I don't have that problem anymore. We're together. But when I have been asked in the past, hey, what do you do for a living? I tell them flat out, I work, I pay my own bills, I provide my own living, and I don't ask you for crap. That's what I do for a living. I'm almost offended when a woman asks me that. That's just how I've
Fellas, please, we're gonna need your input on that.
That's how I've been. I mean, that question kind of it hits me wrong. It may hit some of the fellas out there wrong. And I really have nothing to hide, but I think men have been conditioned that when a woman start leading from the pocket, start asking questions like that, they may be coming from a disingenuous.
But it's not
angle.
leading, and I'm telling you, most women are women of substance, and number 5.
Not all women are women of substance.
But
some women are looking for a come up too.
Okay.
Like men.
But how do you discern that? You have to have the conversation.
Yeah.
You got to. So holding back information ain't gonna help.
No, I would suggest that conversation is going to come out sooner or later.
I don't have sooner or later because I'm just saying, ladies, some of these conversations need to come out before you meet that person. And if you're talking online, I should have a general understanding of who you are. Okay. And general understanding of how you provide for yourself.
We want to hear from y'all. We want to know what you guys think about the fellas.
I think it's putting, and I'm not trying to be funny. I believe you're talking about women who are physically less, most times physically weaker than the man. Yeah. I need to have a profile of you before I meet you in person.
Of course.
Before safety, I'm alone with you.
I get it. For safety reasons, you want to make sure, this guy is not, a criminal. He doesn't have a record. I mean, I get all of that.
But how would I know that if you can't even answer, or you can't even be transparent, fluid in a conversation and say, hey, this is what industry I work in. You can't even do that.
I mean, that's reasonable. But some women flat out want to know, what you do for what kind of money.
Then that's the answer for that woman, but that's not to paint all women.
Okay.
So it's not, we're doing these. So the number 5 reason that we do this is that we're seeking partnership. When you're meeting a person, we know we're not in a relationship on day one, but we're dating for data. You want to know how I move. Yeah. You want to know how I live. You want to know kind of like what I'm into, what I'm interested in. And we are seeking to know, we're not just high standard doesn't mean that we're gold diggers. I'm not a gold digger. I need somebody that can roll with me. When I say, hey, I want to go on vacation, I want to know that we could do this together. I don't need to find this out 5 years later, that you cannot, you never paid your light bill on time. Like, that's simple. Yeah. And I'm not saying things don't happen, or you might not lose it. Things can happen. But I want to know, what money is really about character. Money is a revelation. How you choose to make it, what you do with it is really a story, not the 100% story, about your character and what you choose to do, what you reveal about yourself. And I've had very bad issues with that.
Okay. They may explain your strong views about it.
And I have 2 daughters.
Yeah, and I got a daughter too. Yeah.
And so to understand what somebody does for a living, to meet a person of working age and they don't go somewhere every day to earn income, or they don't do something like that, is kind of telling you,
I would agree. So I think the takeaway from this is if I'm hearing you right, it's not about the 6-figure income thing per se.
For healthy women who want a true partnership, correct? Okay.
So what I'm hearing you saying is you women should more be interested in a man who can, one, hold his own, show that he's gainfully employed, not relying on you, has his own place, the basics, the essentials, his own car, be able to take you out to nice places.
And we do things together, and not like,
and not waiting for you to,
and not a homosexual.
Explain homosexual.
Homosexual are men who seek to come up on women. Hobosexual.
Okay.
Hobosexual.
Okay.
And some of these young men are hobosexuals in training. They're learning that, if I only reveal certain things to you, if I get you caught up sexually, if I lock you down with a baby, then you are a person that I can come back to for resources.
So he's looking for a come up.
He'll
lock you down to try.
Yes, and the homosexual is not just tapping on women; they're tapping on their sisters, their mother. It takes a whole team of women to hold down a very unproductive man. So, because your mama gonna take out her money, out her escrow, out of her equity, and catch up your child support because he's used to being coddled. And so at age,
I do see that a lot.
So you've seen that.
I see that a lot with young men.
And these young men turn into 50 plus men. And they've done this for 30 years and wondering why their kids don't talk to them.
Okay.
Huh?
All right. I think I better understand. Men, I hope you got something out of this.
So I
did, but I still, I'm still a little uneasy about some things, but hopefully you got something out of this, bro. And we want to hear from you. All right.
So now one of our newer segments is the dropping jewels.
Oh yeah, dropping jewels on the YNs, and this came about because we've noticed that well over 50% of our viewing audience are individuals between the ages of 25 and 44. Our vast majority of our listening audience.
And don't be checking us on the real ages of YNs. We're over 50. That's what we use. We're using YN to cover all that, okay?
Yes. So
I guess we're OGs.
We're OGs, maybe aunties to them, or whatever. But anyway, you guys find value in what we're saying here, and we appreciate that. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you following us and viewing us. And so we want to have some kind of nugget of inspiration for the YNs at the end of some of our shows. And today I want to touch on, your younger years are your earning years.
Yes.
Between the ages of 24, 25, 44, that's when you're earning your most money. Should be earning your most money. We just had a long discussion on men and money. Okay. So, I find myself in a lot of you who are young, probably growing up in the inner city. Maybe you didn't have an OG or a father or uncle, to kind of show you or tell you the importance of being able to reinvent yourself. If you're in a dead end job or you're in a job that you just not
pivot,
that you're not happy in, and how to go about pivoting and changing a career and what that would look like. So I took the opportunity to put together some graphs. A lot of you may know, maybe some of you may not know, but I know if I had this information, it would have been very valuable to me when I was a youngin'. I was wild.
I think that a lot of people and we mentioned that in our early conversation before we went on video, is that some men are in the position that they're in because they kind of let life happen to them.
Yes.
And we did some studies that we won't get into all the things, that the earning potential of men and women the men are a little bit ahead in entry level jobs. Because a man can do a physical jobs at a warehouse or whatever the woman can't. But over time, the women overtake them because they take advantage of opportunities to advance their career and their earning potential.
Especially when they earn their postgraduate degrees.
Yes.
Women are crushing men.
Black
men in our community, like 72% of Black women have postgraduate degrees, master degrees.
And these are people that are coming from the same communities.
Right.
And so I would say, and we'll get into this. So I would say, and if you don't mind, I would say, so in these 20s and 30s, you can't afford to be sitting on your mama couch smoking weed.
Right.
You can't afford to be quitting jobs, cussing people out, jumping from job to job, because this is building the foundation of your earning career.
Or fathering bunch of babies. You really stunt your career, you stunt your growth, you stunt your earning potentials,
Yeah.
everything. And then if you're back and forth in and out of juvie and in and out of jail, that just damages your future even more.
And I would even say before we put this up that is a trick of the enemy. That is a plan for you.
Yes.
That system has been designed for you to fall in that trap, so you can get an F on your record, so you do not qualify for financial aid, so you can't qualify for certain things.
Right.
So they're legalizing weed. We're not going to talk about whether that's right or wrong, but that also means there are some positions you can't have.
That's right. And we want better for you,
We do.
young brother and young ladies.
Yes.
All right. And I'm telling you, there is some opportunities out there for you guys in certain sectors that are hot right now in the market.
Want me to bring it up?
Let's bring it up.
Okay.
Let's bring it up. So some of you may know, some of you may not know that just by acquiring a 2-year associate's degree from a local community college, these are some of the things that are hot on the market right now.
So screenshot this if you're able to. Just do a screenshot from your phone or your mobile device.
Yes.
And save this.
Most of these are in the healthcare industry. With a 2-year degree, you can make upwards of 70, 60, 80,000. Maybe you're making that now, maybe you're not. But my advice is take the screenshot, reinvent yourself. Don't be afraid to start all over.
And this one happens to be on healthcare and
It's just the healthcare.
Yeah,
and then the second slide is on other. Yes. So this one is median income with other jobs that you can find or earn money that you can earn just on an associate degree. And some of these, you don't even require a 2-year degree. Some of these might require just a certificate.
And maybe on the job training and kind of you get built up internally.
Yes.
And I think that it provides opportunity even for those of us who are older.
Yes.
It's not too late to pivot. It's
Right.
not too late to pivot at all.
At all.
And then this one, and the source of these last 2 slides was the geteducated.com.
Yes.
And this one is about the funding of it.
Yes. And so, if you're in, if you're financial, you don't have the money up front, there's no excuse for not going back to school and retrading. All right. You can go and get a tuition you can get a grant, a Pell's grant from federal Pell grant that'll help you pay for.
And if your income is low, that is who the Pell grants are for.
And you don't even have to pay that Pell grant.
No,
back.
you do not.
And as you can see, a 2-year degree is only like $3,500 to $5,000 a year. So that's anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 for a 2-year degree.
I agree.
That would change the trajectory of your whole life.
So I think the point of this is, instead of complaining about what people demand, so there's a disparity between women's earning potential, and many times women are doing this kind of stuff. You go to your cousin's graduation or whatever, they're doing this with kids. They're doing this working multiple jobs. Yes. And you cannot be mad because women have moved along.
Yes.
And I won't even get into the lady. I was going to talk about the girl. She's a former exotic dancer. And what she's saying, even them, they putting that money, they only dancing 3-4 years. And they coming out buying cars, houses, going to school. Like, so you think that women, when they have money in their hands, they act very differently than when young men have money in their hands.
Yeah.
And it has a marked difference on the outcome.
So young brother, take it from an OG. If I had this information, was armed with this information, I probably would have did a lot of things different in my life. You don't want to find yourself at 60 years old and you don't have a career, no retirement. No, you're going to retire. You're going to get old.
Yeah.
And if you got kids, you want to provide. So hopefully these things help. Screenshot them. It's going to always be there for you. And let us know if this was helpful.
I hope it was. So we want to know what some of the young people want, even though we're about loving life. This is the life part. This is the real stuff.
Because we have kids your age.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And we have some of these conversations with our own children.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
So this is and guess what? I learned too, that your financial stability is part of your parents' retirement plan.
Thank you.
We need you to be financially independent.
We need you to be 10 toes down So when we retire, you're off our couch and you're out of our pockets.
Exactly.
And you're doing your own thing. And we
raising
know
raising our grandkids.
Raising our grandkids with dignity. And I know you guys can do this. You know, like I said, Youngblood, if I had somebody that had this kind of information for me, I would be much further along in life. And so I'm sharing this information with you, and I hope it helps.
So that's another great episode.
Yeah.
I got
through
this one was a lot better. I don't feel as, worn out after the 6 feet one.
I was ready to go after her, fellas, but I mean, she broke me down.
I had my notes. I argued my case.
She broke me down.
That it's okay to expect more and to do better. And we're here about living your best life. Yes. And if that means partnered with somebody or for yourself, we want you to live your best life. So 100%. Here at Love, Life, and Luggage, we
always wish you
love again, embrace growth, and journey on. Bye.